At the beginning of the story, we see a prince inside a large palace who was very proud of his wealth and beauty, and he always looked down on others. This prince was so spoiled that he only allowed beautiful girls to enter his palace. One night, while the prince was dancing with beautiful girls during a party, a poor old woman came into the palace to escape the rain. The old woman gave the prince a rose flower. But the prince, looking at the old woman's ugly face, dropped the flower on the ground and started laughing, making fun of the old woman's face. That old woman tried to explain to the prince that beauty is never on a person's face, but in their heart. However, the prince did not pay attention to her words and started insulting the old woman in front of everyone. Seeing this, the old woman understood that there was no mercy in the prince's heart. So, the old woman suddenly changed her form and transformed into a beautiful lady. In reality, that old woman was a sorceress who had come to the prince disguised as an old woman to learn about his heart. And she understood that the prince had no love for poor people at all. Now, to punish the prince for his actions, the sorcerer says that if the prince falls in love with someone, and that person also loves him back before the last petal of that flower falls. But if no one loves the prince, then he will remain in that form forever and will never become human again. Now, many years pass, but no one sets foot in that palace because the sorceress had erased the memory of the prince and the palace from people's minds. Now, the scene shifts to the village near that palace, where we see a girl named Belle. Belle loves reading books, and today she is going to buy a new book. Belle's father is an inventor, and he loves his daughter Belle very much. In this same town lives a guy named Gaston. Gaston likes Belle very much and wants to marry her. But Belle did not want this at all because Gaston was a deceitful person, and she often refused him. But Gaston does not give up pursuing Belle and wants to marry her at any cost. One day, Belle's father is going to the city through the forest for some work. After reaching the middle of the forest, he loses his way. Then he sees another path ahead. Belle's father thinks this path might be a shortcut, so he takes it. Belle's father is astonished to see such a large palace. And when he enters the palace, he sees that no one lives inside. So, without thinking, he sits at the dining table and starts eating with great pleasure. But he did not know that something was about to happen to him that would shock him. And while Belle's father is eating happily, suddenly a cup on the table comes close to him. And the surprising thing was that it started talking to Belle's father. Seeing this, Belle's father gets very scared and tries to run away. Now the question arises here. How was that cup talking? Actually, all the items lying there were once human beings, but due to the sorceress's curse, they all turned into objects. Meanwhile, we see Belle's father coming out of the palace, and then he sees many rose flowers in the garden. Belle's father thinks that his daughter had asked for a flower, so he quietly picks one. And as soon as Belle's father picks the flower, the beast arrives. The beast is very angry with Belle's father because he tried to steal a rose from his garden. Therefore, as punishment for stealing the rose, the beast imprisons Belle's father. However, Belle's father's horse runs away from there, and it keeps running until it reaches their home. When Belle sees that the horse has returned alone and her father hasn't come, she becomes worried and decides to go to the palace herself to find her father. After traveling a lot, Belle reaches the palace and calls out for her father. She also calls out, asking if anyone is there, but she receives no answer. Belle also becomes worried, wondering how such a large palace could be empty. Now, as Belle moves forward, she hears voices of people. But the surprising thing was that she couldn't see anyone. In reality, it was the clock and the candlestick talking. Now, as Belle approaches the clock and the candlestick, she suddenly hears her father's screaming voice from above. After which she immediately goes to the upper floor, where she sees her father locked inside a cell. Belle's father tells her in a hurry that this entire palace is alive, so you should run away as soon as possible, lest the beast sees you. Belle asks, which beast? To which Belle's father tells her that the beast is extremely dangerous. I had only picked a flower for you, and as punishment for that, the beast has imprisoned me here for life. Belle's father tells Belle to run away quickly, otherwise, he will capture you too. But before Belle could leave, the beast arrives there. Belle tells the beast that for picking a flower, you sentenced my father to life imprisonment. My father only picked a flower, and I was the one who told him to do so. So you should imprison me instead. However, the beast refuses to listen to Belle and says, I am allowing you to meet your father for a short while. So say whatever you need to say to your father for the last time, because once this cell door opens and closes, it will never open again." Saying this, the beast opens the cell door. Belle quickly goes inside, hugs her father, and cleverly pushes her father out, closing the cell door behind herself. Now, as the beast had said, once this door opens and closes, it will never open again. Now the beast couldn't put Belle's father back inside. Belle's father asks her why she did this, and Belle tells her father that it's more important for you to be outside. After this, Belle's father starts to leave, promising to do everything necessary for his daughter. The clock and the candlestick, who can now walk, talk, laugh, and do anything like humans, open the cell door and come inside, starting to talk to Belle. Seeing all this, Belle gets scared. The candlestick tells Belle, "Don't be scared, and come with us." Belle somehow gathers courage and follows them. They both bring Belle to a luxurious room and tell her that she can stay here. But when the beast finds out about this, he gets very angry. He scolds the clock and candlestick severely. But they both say that perhaps this is the girl who will free us from the curse. So the candlestick and clock tell the beast that you should go near the girl and impress her. They tell the beast, "Go and talk to this girl. You must invite her for dinner." He then agrees because the beast is responsible for all the people who have become objects like the candlestick, clock, etc. If he had accepted that flower happily that day, these people wouldn't be in this condition today. Now, the beast knocks on Belle's room door and tells her, "You will have dinner with me. But don't consider this a request." Hearing this, Belle says, "Are you crazy? First, you imprisoned my father, then you imprisoned me, and now you're asking me to have dinner with you? That can never happen." Hearing this, the beast angrily starts banging on the door, saying, "Whatever happens, you will have dinner with me." But Belle says, "I would rather starve to death, but I will never have dinner with you." Hearing this, the beast gets extremely angry and says, "Fine, your wish will be granted. Now, no one is to give her any food, and let her starve to death." Saying this, the beast leaves. Now, the clock, candlestick, and the other objects become very sad because their chance to be freed from the curse was lost. Here we see the beast going to the magical rose. After the last petal of this rose fails, everyone in the palace will die. Here, the beast sees that many petals have already larkened and fallen. Seeing this, the beast becomes very sad. On the other hand, we see that Belle's father has returned to his village. He starts telling everyone, "My daughter's life is in danger. There is a palace near the forest where a beast lives, and that same beast has imprisoned my daughter." Hearing this, all the people present start laughing at Belle's father, and no one bellies him. But Gaston, who wanted to marry Belle, says this to impress Belle's father. "I believe what you're saying. I will go with you to save your daughter." After this, Gaston and his companion start going with Belle's father through the forest to get to Belle. Now, in the darkness of the night, Belle's father had forgotten the path he had taken to reach the palace. He couldn't find that path, and Gaston ties Belle's father to a tree and leaves him there to die, so that wolves would kill him, because this was. And the next morning, we see that a lady named Agatha comes to Belle's father. Here, the objects are feeding Belle. When the beast comes and sees all this, he quietly leaves from there. The beast comes angrily and tells her, "Get out of here and don't show me your face again." As soon as Belle goes a little further into the forest, some wolves surround her. But before those wolves could harm Belle, the beast arrives and starts fighting with the wolves. After fighting the wolves for a long time, the beast finally chases them all away, but in this fight, he himself is badly injured. Now, Belle was just about to leave from there, when she saw that the beast had fallen to the ground due to his severe injuries. Now, because the beast had saved Belle's life, instead of leaving, Belle goes to the beast and tells him, "I can't lift you, so you'll have to get up yourself." So the effect of the curse will end, and everything will return to normal like before. Here, the objects tell Belle their whole story, that after the last petal of that flower falls, all of us will die. But these objects do not tell Belle the whole truth, that before the last petal falls, you both need to fall in love with each other. Because if these objects told Belle the whole truth, she would realize that they are trying to force her into falling in love with the beast. And after finding this out, Belle would never truly fall in love with the beast. Here we see Belle going to the beast and starting to apply ointment to his wounds. Along with applying the ointment, she also recites a poem to him, because Belle was very interested in reading poems, poetry, and books. But when Belle recites the poem, the beast completes the next part of the poem himself. Hearing this, Belle understands that the beast is well-read and knows about poetry. Hearing the beast's words, Belle says that she really likes love stories and poems. After which the beast says, "One can tell from your face how much you like reading books, but if you want to read something good." Now, when the villagers don't believe Belle's words, Belle shows them the beast in the magical mirror, which surprises everyone greatly. Belle tells all these people, "You don't need to be afraid, because that beast is not at all dangerous. Rather, that beast is very kind-hearted and does not harm anyone." Now, when Gaston hears Belle praising the beast so much, he understands that Belle has started to love the beast. Because of this, Gaston becomes jealous. He tries to provoke the villagers by saying that the beast has cast a black magic spell on Belle, which is why she is talking like her father. After this, Gaston tells the villagers that because of the black magic on Belle, she could harm us. So, Belle should also be tied up along with her father. After which, the villagers tie up Belle along with her father. Here, Gaston incites all the villagers, saying that we should all go together to that palace and kill that beast. If he doesn't die, he will come to our village and kill us all. Here, the villagers fall for his words, and the whole village sets out to kill the beast. Gaston incites the villagers because he wanted to kill the beast and capture his palace, making himself the master of that palace. Here, we see Belle somehow frees herself and also sets off towards the palace. Meanwhile, the villagers reach the palace to kill the beast. Belle apologizes to the beast, saying, "I tried my best to stop the villagers, but they wouldn't stop." Hearing Belle's words, the beast becomes very happy and understands that Gaston had lied to him. Belle had not sent the villagers here to kill him. Now, seeing Belle, the beast finds courage within himself and gets ready to confront Gaston. After which, he goes to Gaston, grabs him by the neck, lifts him up, and is about to throw him off the high wall of the palace. Then Gaston starts pleading with the beast, "Please don't do this, let me go." The beast, who had now become kind-hearted, spares Gaston out of mercy and tells him, "Get out of here." Gaston runs away from there. After which, the beast comes to Belle. Now, taking advantage of the moment, Gaston fires 2 shots from behind, hitting the beast, who falls down. Then Belle tells the beast, "Now I will never leave you." But the beast says, "My time to leave has come." Hearing this, Belle says, "Nothing like that will happen, everything will be normal." And just then, we see that the last petal of the rose also falls. As soon as the petal falls, the beast goes completely silent, and all the objects in the palace become lifeless. Seeing the beast dying, Belle is filled with sorrow and starts crying. Here, Belle declares her love for the beast and says, "I love you so much." Saying this, Belle kisses the beast. And just then, Agatha also arrives there. Agatha is the lady who was exiled from the village. She comes here, and in the story, this is the biggest twist because we find out that Agatha is not an ordinary lady, but she is the same sorceress who cursed the beast. Here, she sees that the beast has fallen in love with someone, and that girl also now loves the beast, meaning that the curse was now broken. And just then, we see a bright light shining around the beast, transforming him into a handsome prince. Seeing this, Belle becomes very happy, and they both embrace each other. We dive deep into the greatest stories ever told, the classics, the thrillers, the true stories that blur the line between fact and legend. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now. Tap the like button if you believe they made it.